Chapter 1. My Husband, the Devil. It had been 1 year since Leon Vale married Maximus Veru, the young mafia king known as the Enigma Prince. And still, the blade never met its target. Leon wasn't supposed to still be alive in this marriage. Maximus wasn't supposed to be this kind. He was supposed to be cruel, reckless. The kind of enemy who gave Leon an excuse to kill him under the guise of an accident. That was the plan. But Maximus ruined everything, just by being gentle. Leon Vale, age 35, had seen too much in life to believe in fairy tales. He was an alpha, scarred by war, hardened by family expectations, and trained from the age of 15 to follow orders without emotion. So when his powerful family asked him to marry the mafia king and quietly kill him, Leon didn't hesitate. It was supposed to be simple. Marry the boy, gain his trust, kill him, leave. He thought Maximus, a 25-year-old heir to an empire, would throw tantrums about being forced into marrying an older alpha. That he'd resist, that he'd fight, that he'd make it easy for Leon to stage the perfect murder. But Maximus didn't argue once. He said yes without even blinking. "I'm honored to be your husband, Leon," Maximus had said that day, lacing his fingers with his. Leon had laughed bitterly at the time. "Stupid boy," he'd muttered. But days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, and Leon found himself waiting for the monster to show up. He never did. Maximus didn't rage. He didn't question. He cooked breakfast. He brought Leon coffee in bed. He covered him with blankets when Leon fell asleep on the couch. He even ran Leon's bathwater every night. "Warm, not hot. You get headaches if it's too hot," Maximus once said casually. And Leon froze. He never told him that. There were moments between them that made Leon's heart hurt. Like when Maximus smiled at him while folding their laundry. Like when he softly kissed Leon's temple after a bad nightmare. Or when Maximus gently touched his back and whispered, "You don't have to look over your shoulder here. You're home." It was maddening. Because Leon knew he shouldn't feel comfort in his enemy's arms. But he did. And it scared him more than death. Still, he had a job. He couldn't forget that. He was here to end Maximus, not fall for his dimples and domestic habits. But the knife never made it out of the drawer. Because Maximus would always find some reason to stay close. "Dinner's ready, your favorite." "Leon, let me wrap that hand. You've been training too hard again." "Don't disappear like that again, I worry." Leon hated how warm those words made him feel. How real they sounded. How real he wanted them to be. He kept wondering, why? Why was Maximus being this gentle with him? Why wasn't he resisting this arranged marriage? Why didn't he hate Leon for being older? Why did he always act like Leon was his treasure instead of a trap? Everyone in the mansion treated Leon like royalty. The guards bowed. The servants smiled. The underbosses called him Queen Vale. And still, Leon didn't know he was walking in the middle of a plan far more elaborate than his own. Because Maximus Veru had loved Leon Vale since he was 15. He'd seen him once, at a cross-border diplomacy meeting. Leon stood tall in a black suit, giving orders, ignoring everyone with a cold stare that froze the room. Maximus had only been a boy then, hiding behind his father. But he remembered thinking, "He's the most beautiful man I've ever seen." Over the years, he watched Leon from afar, gathered information, learned his patterns, his scars, his secrets. When his father died and the mafia throne became his, Maximus made a single demand: "Arrange my marriage with Leon Vale, or I won't take the crown." So they did. And Maximus finally had the man he'd dreamed of. The only problem? Leon had come to kill him. But Maximus didn't care. He welcomed Leon in, knowing full well what he came for. Because he was certain, if I love him enough, he'll never leave me. Now, a year into the marriage, Leon stands in their shared bedroom, staring at Maximus curled up on the couch with a book. His long lashes flutter with sleep, his mouth slightly open, a soft glow of the fireplace warming his pale cheeks. Leon sighs, rubbing his tired eyes. He still hasn't killed him. He still can't. And worst of all, he doesn't want to anymore. Chapter 2. Velvet Trap. It had been a year and 1 month since Leon married the devil he was sent to kill. And every day, the devil ruined Leon's mission a little more. Leon stood in front of the mirror, sighing as he'd adjusted the collar of his deep navy tux. The gala invitation had arrived weeks ago, one of those high society mafia events where powerful people stood around fake laughing and drinking aged wine they didn't even like. Maximus peeked out from the closet, holding up a crisp black suit. "Will you look at that?" he said, his voice low and pleased. "Even the moon would feel shy standing next to you." Leon didn't roll his eyes, but he wanted to. "Stop staring. You've seen me in worse." "Never. Even when you're in pajamas, you look like you could break hearts." Maximus grinned. "Especially mine." Leon snorted. "Your flirting's getting worse." "It's not flirting," Maximus replied, without missing a beat, stepping close to fix Leon's collar. "It's worship." Leon hated the way his chest warmed. He should have pushed Maximus away. Instead, he let him fix the collar and let the younger man sneak a kiss onto his cheek. The gala. The luxury ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers and the stench of expensive perfumes. Leon hated these events. He sipped wine and scanned the crowd until someone tapped his shoulder. "You're Leon Vale, right? The famous alpha?" A tall alpha in an emerald suit smiled, leaning just a bit too close. "I've always been curious. What would it take to make someone like you mine?" Leon blinked, unimpressed. "A death wish, maybe." The man laughed as if he thought Leon was joking. Another alpha joined in. Then another. Maximus, across the room, stopped talking mid-sentence to a Russian arms dealer. His entire expression went blank. "Oh no," whispered one of his bodyguards. "His jealousy meter just snapped in half." Another muttered, "Somebody go warn those idiots." But it was too late. By the time Maximus reached them, his expression was calm. Too calm. "Gentlemen," he said, wrapping an arm around Leon's waist, "thank you for appreciating what's mine." Leon stiffened. "Maximus." "Shh." His voice was low, dangerous. "Let me protect what's mine." He leaned in and whispered in Leon's ear. "Tonight, I'm going to make sure everyone knows you belong to me. Forever." Leon's heart stuttered. He didn't know exactly what Maximus meant. But he found out later that night. The bite. Back at the mansion, Maximus didn't waste a second. He kissed Leon like a man starved, hands gripping, lips desperate. And Leon, stupid, reckless Leon, kissed back. He was too far gone. Maximus whispered, "Let me bond with you." Leon opened his mouth to argue, but Maximus bit him. Hard, right at the base of his neck. The pain was sharp, intimate, like fire under his skin, and when it faded, something heavy settled into his soul. The bond was complete. "You're mine," Maximus whispered, tracing the mark, "now and forever." And the rest of the night went into a blur of passion and heat. Celebration of madness, the entire Viru estate went into chaos. Guards danced. Chefs cried in the kitchen. Someone set off fireworks. The palace's senior advisor was seen sobbing into a champagne bottle, declaring, "My baby king finally got his obsession." Even the Enigma soldiers cheered. "Our queen is finally bonded. The Leon Vale is one of us now. Maximus did it. He did it." Leon came downstairs for breakfast the next day and stopped mid-step at the dining room. The giant banner read, "Welcome home, Mrs. Viru, queen of our king's heart and hormones." Leon blinked. "I'm going back upstairs." 1 month later. Leon woke up groaning, clutching his stomach. "If you overfed me again, I swear." He didn't finish. He ran to the bathroom and threw up. Twice. Maximus knocked gently. "Leon, everything all right?" "Does it sound like it?" Leon snarled between gags. Maximus immediately called 3 private doctors, 2 nutritionists, and 1 herbal priestess from Tibet. By the end of the hour, the news dropped. "You're pregnant, Alpha Vale." Leon went very quiet. I'm an alpha. That doesn't happen. The doctor shrugged. Rare, yes, but possible. Maximus didn't say anything for 3 full seconds. Then he slowly smiled, eyes soft and sparkling. You're carrying my child. He sat beside Leon, gently touching his flat belly. You've given me everything now. Leon blinked. You're not freaking out? Maximus kissed his hand. You've made me the happiest man alive. I'll take care of everything. You just rest. Pregnancy chaos. From that day on, Maximus became insane. He banned Leon from training. You're growing a baby. I won't let you grow abs too. He banned him from eating spicy food. What if the baby learns to kick harder than you already do? He hired a team of 12 prenatal caretakers, a foot massager, a private opera singer, a llama for emotional support. Leon lost it one evening. You brought a llama into our bedroom, Maximus. A llama. Maximus deadpanned. Studies show they help with stress. Leon threw a pillow at him. I am the stress. But truthfully, Leon had never felt so safe. Maximus brushed his hair every night, massaged his feet, sang to his belly. And every time he looked at him, it was like Leon had hung the stars himself. Now you can never leave me, Maximus whispered one night, smiling against his neck. Leon sighed. Yeah, I get it. I'm yours. No, Maximus whispered, wrapping his arms around him. You've always been mine. You just didn't know it yet. Chapter 3. The Truth I Didn't See. Leon Vale was 5 months pregnant, and everyone in the Vero household knew it. Not just because he looked softer around the edges or because his moods changed faster than a heartbeat, but because their queen could now cry and throw a plate at someone in the same 5-minute window. And Maximus loved him more with every passing second. Mood swings. Mayhem. Maximus found Leon crying over a broken spoon. It bent, Leon sobbed, holding it like a lost child. And now it's not a spoon anymore. Maximus, fully dressed for a mafia council meeting, gently took the spoon and kissed it. Then it's a beautiful bendy spoon now. We'll keep it forever. Leon sniffled, nodding like Maximus had just written poetry. 10 minutes later, he was furiously throwing the same spoon at a wall. Why is everything bent in this damn house? Maximus caught it midair, smiled, and kissed Leon's forehead. I love you so much. But no mood swing had prepared Maximus for what came next. Because that evening, after dinner, Leon stood in the center of their shared bedroom, hands trembling, a folded document in his grip. You lied to me, he said softly. Maximus looked up from the sofa. What do you mean? Leon held up the paper. About the mission. About how this marriage even happened. Maximus stilled. Slowly, he stood up. Leon's eyes were wide, hurt, and teary. His lower lip trembled. You think you found me? He asked, voice shaking. Maximus, I was sent to kill you. And you knew. Maximus walked over and took the paper gently from his hands. He didn't deny it. Didn't lie. Didn't flinch. No, Leon, he said quietly. I built every road that led you to me. Confession. Maximus sat Leon down on the bed and knelt in front of him. You want the truth? All of it? Leon nodded, arms crossed over his growing belly. Maximus took a breath. And then began. I was 15 when I first saw you. You were standing on the edge of a rooftop during a peace summit, in a black suit, yelling at a councilman like you ran the world. You were the most terrifying, beautiful creature I'd ever seen. From that day, I studied everything about you. I knew where you went, who you trusted, what you hated. When my father died, they told me to marry someone political. I told them I'd only marry you. So I made it happen. I allowed your family to plan my murder. I let them send you to me. Because I knew. Maximus looked up, eyes shining. You'd never go through with it. Leon couldn't breathe. His world felt like it was spinning. Anger and guilt. You used me, Leon whispered. And you were going to kill me, Maximus whispered back. The air between them crackled. I didn't know you loved me. I didn't know I loved you until you smiled at me in the kitchen, Leon admitted, voice small. They both paused. Maximus reached out and placed a hand over Leon's stomach. Then we're even, he said softly. We both betrayed and deceived each other, and we both fell in love anyway. Leon's eyes welled up again, but this time with something warmer. I'm still mad at you, he grumbled. I know, Maximus smiled. But don't be too mad, or the baby will think Daddy's in trouble. Leon cracked a small, unwilling smile. He is in trouble. Peace, kind of. Later that night, Leon lay against Maximus's chest, arms curled protectively around his belly. I feel bad sometimes, Leon whispered. I wanted to hurt you. I wanted to kill you. Maximus kissed his temple. And yet you gave me a child instead. Accidentally. Best accident of my life. They sat in silence for a while, Maximus's fingers trailing soothing circles on Leon's back. You know, Maximus added with a smirk, you're not the only one pregnant here. Leon blinked. What? You're carrying the baby. He patted Leon's belly gently. But I'm carrying you, emotionally, financially, romantically, mentally. Leon stared at him for a second, then burst out laughing. A real laugh, loud and unfiltered. You're an idiot. You're idiot, Maximus said, grinning. Melting point. Before sleep, Maximus gently pulled Leon's shirt up and leaned down. He pressed a kiss to his round stomach, whispering, Our baby is growing beautifully. Leon swallowed hard, heart squeezing. You're going to be a dangerous father, he murmured. Maximus looked up. Only if anyone dares threaten my 2 babies. 2 babies? You, he said, nuzzling Leon's cheek. And this tiny bean. You both belong to me. I'll destroy the world for you. Leon melted into his arms. He still didn't say I love you out loud. But Maximus didn't need the words. Because the way Leon curled into him, the way he kissed his cheek and held his hand, that was enough for now. Chapter 4. Death Comes for Me. Leon had always believed he could keep the 2 worlds separate, the one where he was the sharp, mission-driven alpha trained to kill, and the other, where he was now 5 months pregnant with the child of the man he was sent to assassinate. But reality didn't allow such luxuries. He stared at the flickering message on his comlink. His father's voice, cold and heavy, echoed in his ears. You had one task, Leon. One. Come home. When Leon finally confessed, he couldn't do it. Couldn't kill Maximus, that he had fallen in love, that he was carrying his child. There was a long, unbearable silence on the other end. Then the call cut off. Maximus found him crumpled on the balcony floor, eyes red, body trembling. Leon. Maximus knelt beside him gently, brushing back his hair. They know, Leon whispered. They're coming for me. For us. My family. They think I've disgraced them. Maximus's eyes darkened like a gathering storm, but his voice remained calm. Dangerous. Too calm. Let them come. I'll welcome them with fire. The next night, it began. Assassins slipped through shadows disguised as servants, diplomats, even merchants. They didn't come to talk. They came to take Leon back, either willingly or in chains. And they came to erase the child inside him too. They never made it out. The royal palace lit up with fury. Maximus became a living weapon, a god of death. He didn't rely on his guards. He went himself. One by one, he hunted the attackers down. No armor, no mercy. He tore their weapons from their hands and their lives from their bodies. He set the estate of Leon's father ablaze, not to kill, but to send a message. Threaten my mate once, you lose a hand. Threaten my child, you lose your bloodline. Leon saw him return just before dawn, drenched in blood, his golden armor cracked and soaked in red. He rushed forward, heart racing. Maximus, what did you do? Maximus dropped to his knees in front of him. I protected you, he said simply, gazing up with eyes full of nothing but love. You're bleeding. None of it's mine, Maximus murmured. He pressed his forehead against Leon's round belly, voice soft. Our baby is growing beautifully. Leon's emotions cracked like thin glass. The sight of this terrifying king kneeling, whispering to their unborn child with bloodied hands, it shattered something in him. He dropped to his knees too. "You're insane," Maximus smiled. "For you, always." Leon should have been horrified, but he wasn't. He was moved. No one had ever chosen him like this, protected him like this, killed for him like this. And for the first time, he didn't want anyone else to love him the way Maximus did. Because this monster was his. Chapter 5. The Devil I Chose. 1 year later, I still haven't killed him. Because the truth is, I never wanted to. I just wanted to be loved. 2 years into their chaotic beginning, something has finally settled. Peace. Home. A heartbeat that no longer races in fear, but in comfort. Leon had once come into Maximus's life as an assassin, a mission, a threat. Now he's his everything. A husband, a lover, and now, a parent. 4 months after surviving a storm of blood, betrayal, and war, Leon went into labor. The entire estate panicked, especially Maximus. For the first time in his life, the monster of the underworld shook with fear, not of death, but of losing the light he now lived for. After hours of painful labor and a broken headboard thanks to Leon's rage, their child was born. A baby boy, tiny, warm, crying like the whole world needed to hear his little voice. Maximus named him Lucian, meaning light of the morning. Because to him, his son was proof that even devils could be loved and create life. Leon, tired and teary-eyed, stared at their baby wrapped in soft blankets, already being spoiled with kisses by Maximus. "You're ridiculous," Leon muttered. Maximus only smiled and replied, "He has your eyes. We're doomed." They laughed. For the first time in what felt like years, Leon's laughter came freely. He'd given up everything for this man. His mission, his family, even the shadows that followed him. But what he received in return was priceless. A man who watched him sleep like he was sacred. A home where he wasn't a tool or a weapon, but a person. And a son who clutched his finger like he already knew he was loved. 3 months later, on their second wedding anniversary, Maximus took Leon on a surprise date within their estate garden, now blooming with soft lights and gentle music. Lucian was asleep nearby with a nanny, while Maximus and Leon danced slowly under the stars. Leon whispered, "You kidnapped me, marked me, manipulated fate." Maximus kissed his forehead, and Leon smiled. "And I don't regret a single second of it." They called him a devil. But the devil gave me a life worth living. Because Leon didn't just choose Maximus. He chose love. He chose family. He chose himself. And in the end, it was the best decision he ever made.